Hello and welcome to the Lorna Marie Fitness Podcast, the show where we talk all things fitness, health, mindset and lifestyle to help you become fitter, healthier and happier. I help busy people who lack time, motivation and self-belief to look and feel great again. If you want to work with me, head over to lornamariefitness.co.uk, but for now, enjoy this episode.
Gosh, what a week it's been this week. It has been crazy. And actually, in some ways, personally speaking, a really, really great week and challenging in a professional sense. So I just started an advanced instructor and presenter course that I'm absolutely loving and loving getting my teeth into it. It's fantastic. And so tough in so many ways. And I'm not going to delve into all of it because, you know, a lot of it is really personal. But it has been one of those... It's been one of those weeks, you know, when you wish you had almost like a camera crew with you because you could totally make it into a movie. Like a series of unfortunate events. Like I said, I'm not going to go into all of them, but one thing I did want to share that I did experience, and this is like just one of the things. And it is a big thing, but do you know what? I was so busy and so wrapped up in everything else that was going on. It wasn't until I was actually sat in the waiting room, and this was in the cancer clinic. So to cut a long story short, I found some lumps and the GP wasn't sure. So they sent me very quickly actually to be referred to the cancer clinic to get them checked out and just to make sure, you know, if everything was okay. And I sat down in the waiting room, and it was the first time I'd actually taken a pause. And I thought, I haven't even thought about this. I haven't even given this any time. And maybe that's a blessing in disguise, I don't know. I was thinking, I haven't really spoken to anyone about this. And really, you know, should I say something? Should I say something? Because if I share what I'm going through right now, sat in a waiting room, ready to get these lumps tested, I don't really know what's going to happen. It might mean that somebody checks themselves today, and it might make the difference of they might have found something they didn't know they had, and they could nip it in the bud. Or it might make someone regularly check because they know they should, like me, and get on that regular checking thing, whether you put it in your phone to remember or whether you check in the shower or whatever. And this goes for women and for men. You must be checking yourselves. You must be checking for lumps and just making sure everything's okay. Luckily for me, everything was okay, like touch wood. They said it was fine and I moved on. But I was really, really glad that I shared my experience. And I know a lot of people did comment on it, so thank you all for your support. But the point of me sharing it wasn't like, oh, look at me, I'm so sorry for myself, because I hadn't even had time to think about it properly. So that wasn't the point of me sharing that personal information. It was more that if somebody sees this and it gives them a reminder to check, then that could make all the difference to that person. So yeah, that was just one thing out of this crazy, crazy week. And I don't know if anyone's found it tough going into the beginning of September. You know, if you have kids, do you find that actually it's taken this long to get any kind of normality or for things to sort of settle down a little bit at home? Do you feel like, just in general, life's so busy and you are now ready for September? Even though it's the 15th of September today, or whenever you're listening to this, you are now ready for September. Because I certainly feel that way anyway. So we are now ready. And on that note, we are starting our 6-week reboot course on Monday. So it is literally the last day to sign up, tomorrow and maybe Sunday morning if you're lucky. And it's for anybody who is feeling like this, okay? You feel like you're so busy, you struggle to fit fitness into your lifestyle, you're completely out of routine, but you want to get into good routines with your health and fitness, to shape up, to feel better in yourself, to feel more confident, and to be that person you want to be, the person that you aspire to be. But you just need that little bit of a reboot, literally, or just that little bit of a push and support, and know that you're going to be supported on your journey, and know that you're going to be in a group of women that are doing it all together. at the same time so you can help each other and you can experience it together. I'm part of a wider community, which is just incredible. So that is not even giving it justice, what we do, to be honest. But if that sounds a little bit like you want to fit fitness into your lifestyle, you want to sort your diet out, you want to shape up, you want to feel better, then you need to get in touch ASAP. You can head to the website, lornamariefitness.co.uk, and click get started. Or you can simply just message me, be like, Lorna, I'm ready. Or you can be like, Lorna, I'm not ready, but I want to do this. Because do you know what? You'll probably never feel ready. And the scariest part is taking that first step. As soon as you've taken that first step, it gets so much easier from there. And I wish more people would understand that, because I think a lot of people think it's going to get harder. Whereas, no, just reaching out. Basically, my hand's here. All you need to do is take my hand and follow what we do and trust the process. If you trust the process and follow what I say, and it's nothing too complicated, nothing too overwhelming, I understand you're a busy person, of course, then, everything will be fine. Going back to the navigating tough weeks thing, because I didn't actually get to my point that I was telling you about. My point was definitely to check your breasts, whether you're male or female. But my point was, my constant through the week was my online squaddies and going to my classes. And I find that when I'm in a class with everyone, the door is shut. That is that you time where you're focusing on your body and exactly what you're doing. And I can't tell you how great it feels. Honestly, I love it. I absolutely love what we do. But I would just like to say that, that's the constant. Whenever you're having a bad week or a bad day, you just shut the door, you do a class, and you feel so much better. Whenever something happens, you think, oh gosh, and then you're looking at the WhatsApp group and everyone's chatting about the steps. Then it just takes your mind off things. It's so wonderful to be surrounded by positive people. And as they say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, make sure they're good then. Make sure at least one of them is a squaddie, and I will be that person that will lift you up and hopefully inspire you and motivate you to be the best version of yourself, because that's what I want for everybody. That is honestly, it's what I want. It's what needs to happen. It's my purpose. It's my mission. Yeah, so there you have it. Make sure you've got that constant in your life where you're looking after you and you're surrounded by incredible people. And I promise you'll be able to navigate those tougher times. And let me know in the comments if you're a squaddie listening to this and you totally agree, like, yes, Lorna, I'm with you. Or if you've ever experienced, I don't know, you've been to an exercise class, or you've been on a run, or you've been out for a walk and it makes you feel so much better. I feel like everybody could relate to this, surely. Okay, let's move on to the questions. So this is something we do in the squad every week. Everyone sends their questions in and we just have a little chat about them, really. So, which one should we start with? Let's start with, do you know what? I'm going to go in a random order. Let's go random. Here we go. Why not, hey? Bingo wings. I've noticed my arms are starting to have some lovely definition, but my bingo wings seem to flap about when I'm waving my arms. Are there any specific exercises to target them, please? So your bingo wings is like the slang or the colloquial term for this, basically the back of the arms, the triceps. You can't, no matter what anybody tells you, you can't spot reduce or fat spot reduce. So you can't pick a part of your body and say, right, what I'd like to do is I'd like to sculpt that section, but not that section because I quite like that bit. And then I want to shape that bit. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that. And if I could magic something up, or anybody in the world could magic something up, there'd be not even billionaires, there'd be absolute squillionaires. But that doesn't mean that all is lost, okay? This is how you can sculpt the back of your arms. So of course you need to be doing exercises that stimulate the back of the arm muscle, your triceps. Things like that would be tricep dips, doing push-ups, so using your body weight there. And then in terms of classes, what you could do, upper body, upper body strength. So if you go to on demand, type it in the search bar, that's the fastest way. Stronger, that's also a really good one. HIIT with weights, even things like doing yoga. You know, when you're doing like the chaturanga and you bring yourself down and you're pushing yourself back up into upward facing dog, all of that is using your triceps. So even yoga, but more specifically, what I would focus on is I'd make sure I'm doing the strength workouts with weights. So I'd be doing, your strongers, HIIT with weights, and probably sculpt actually. That class is using body weight, but there's a lot of upper body in there, tricep work, and a lot of arm work, essentially. So that's the first thing. You want to stimulate the muscle. Secondly, to keep that lovely toned look, you need to make sure you're giving your muscle adequate rest, hydration, and enough protein to allow it to repair itself as well. So making sure you're stimulating it, you're giving it the rest and the nourishment that it needs, so it can grow. And when I say grow, it doesn't mean, we're going to have really bulky back of the arms. You're not going to. It's very, very difficult for a woman to do that anyway. So please don't worry about that. And then finally, if you're looking to reduce fat, I'm not saying this is you in general or like pointing a finger, but for anybody who wants to decrease their body fat or be on a weight loss journey or whatever, you just need to be in a calorie deficit. So calories out are higher than calories in. So just reducing the food portions ever so slightly. We're not talking anything drastic because we know drastic does not work. We know that, the squad. We want sustainable. But they're the things that you want to be doing. I hope that helps. Let me know. Great question though. It's a really good question. Okie dokes. Let's move on. Arthritis in fingers, wrists and toes is getting worse. As a result, when I do a plank, I can't straighten my arms. I can't put weight into my big toes, so I take it in the other 4 toes. My question is, adapting moves to accommodate restrictions, especially in Pilates and yoga, where it's all about doing the moves correctly, is the workout less effective? Now, firstly, I'm so sorry to hear about this. Arthritis is extremely frustrating. I can sympathise with you there. I have it. I've got it too. What you need to do, and it's so important anyway, and this is for anybody who doesn't have arthritis as well, is you just need to listen to your body and adapt to what your body needs and adapt to what it needs in that moment in time. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. This is your workout and you've got to do what is right for your body. So firstly, don't worry about that. Secondly, I would just be focusing on my form. So making sure that my form is absolutely correct in a way that doesn't hurt my body. So you mentioned planks there. If you find that being on your hands and having that flexion, or even having that in the wrists, well, what you could do. So say when you're on your hands, it's really hard to explain through the microphone as well without actually doing it, but I'm going to try my best. When you're on your hands, you've got a lot of flexion going through your wrist there. So if that is hurting your wrist and it's hurting your fingers, you could try on the flat of the fist. If that hurts on the flat of the fist, you could be planking on your forearms. You don't even need to use your arms then. Or you could even have yoga blocks, or you could use dumbbells to hold yourself up in the plank position. They're just a few ideas for a plank, and you don't have to be on your toes, you could do it on your knees. There's ways of adapting a plank to make it trickier, even doing it on the knees. Or you could, I don't know if you're wearing trainers or not, but maybe you could pop some trainers on or put your toes on a cushion. So don't worry too much, just adapt where you can. I would think about the overall goal with yoga and Pilates. So with yoga and Pilates, it's about that mind-body connection. I always think of it like this. We're slowing down. We're thinking about what our bodies are actually doing. And we are just being really mindful about what we're doing. We're feeling the moves. We're focusing on our form. We're also working the core in Pilates, and we're working our mobility and our flexibility, and same with yoga as well. So if you get to the end of a class and you can say, I've worked my core, I have worked my mobility, I've worked my flexibility, and I feel like I've been mindful. I've been thinking about what I've been doing. If you can tick those things off, then great. And that's all that matters. And really the answer to your question is the workout less effective? No, it doesn't have to be. It depends on your moves and your adaptations, of course. But if you're ever struggling, like say with the plank, Lorna, I don't know what to do when you guys are doing the plank, just send me a message and I'll give you some exercises to do. Or just pop up in class and I'll just do it there and then. That's absolutely fine. Okay, next question. Do you have some good and healthy vegetarian lunch ideas, please? I'm trying to avoid the processed stuff. Thank you. Yeah, sure, no worries. Oh, there's so many. And good for you on trying to reduce the processed stuff as well. I would say anything with less ingredients is better, right? And with vegetarian, a lot of people ironically go vegetarian because they feel like it's healthier, but then end up eating all the processed vegetarian foods. So it isn't always necessarily right. Now, I'm just going to reel off a list, but if anyone's got any that they want to add, please just pop it in the comments and add some other ideas. So you got your stir fries, you could have hummus and veggie wraps, quinoa salads, caprese salads, soup, chickpea, anything with chickpeas? Chickpea salads. What else did I write down? And then I just wrote down less ingredients is better. Make yourself a tuna salad. It doesn't even have to be a salad. You can have a tuna sandwich. There's nothing wrong with tuna sandwich or an egg sandwich. And if I had £1 for every time that someone said that bread is bad, I would be a millionaire. Bread is not bad. It's not bad. It's very good. Very, very good. So that's just a few ideas straight away. Ideally, if you can make it at home, great. If not, and you end up, being in a Tesco or a garage or wherever, just have a little look on the packet and look at the ingredients list and try and choose something that has got fewer ingredients in or ingredients that you can pronounce and that you know. And if all else fails, sometimes you can get hard-boiled eggs. You can get hard-boiled eggs and you can make your own hard-boiled eggs, a little baguette or a box of salad or quinoa salad, put the eggs in there for extra protein, whatever you want to do, and just kind of make it up as you go along. But I hope that's given you a few ideas. But yes, of course, there's plenty of healthy vegetarian ideas. I do realise as well that I did give some pescatarian ideas by saying tuna, so apologies about that one. I shouldn't use them interchangeably, should I? Moving on. So, sorry. Next, I'm just laughing at myself. I think I've had one of those weeks where I'm going like delirious. In stronger classes, when you say light, medium and heavy weights, it would be good to know how many kilos equate to each category as a guideline. Oh, now, the thing is, it depends. It depends on what track it is, and it depends on you and where you're at with lifting your weights. Now, stronger, for those of you that don't know, is our weights or barbell class, and we have a track per body part, if you like, or muscle group, so chest, back, triceps, biceps, shoulders. And quite often I'll say, right, everybody, take a third off your bar, or everybody, we're going to start off with a medium weight and then we'll go from there. So usually it's really difficult for me to say because it really depends on the individual. And the best thing you can do is try a few different things and see what it feels like. And every stronger release is going to be different as well. So one stronger release, you might be like, oh, the chest track was all right. And the next release, it might be like, oh my gosh, the chest track was an absolute beast. I had to drop my weights and change my weights. And that is a thing as well. You can just put your weights down and change them. That's not a problem. It depends on if you're using hand weights or a barbell as well. This is a very difficult question for me to answer. I would say we always start off with the warm-up weight. On my bar, I have a 5 kilogram on each side. That is a medium weight for me, for stronger. Now, that isn't going to be for everybody. And I would be tempted to start with 2.5 kilos on either side of a barbell to see how that feels. And when I'm saying, right, everyone double, everyone take a third off, go with that and then just see how you feel by the end of class. And if you're using hand weight, similar as well. And you just got to adapt to you and your body. If it doesn't feel right, put it down, change it. There's no one looking or judging or anything like that. I hope that gives you a bit of an idea though. So sorry, it's a bit of a it depends answer, but it depends. Next question. I love stronger workouts and the holistic ones too, and tend to stick to those ones in Lorna Marie Fitness. I don't do much cardio, but I walk every day. Is that enough? Should I do more cardio for optimum health? So if we look at the actual guidelines for exercise, the government says 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. You can include brisk walks, vigorous gardening or cleaning, maybe a light aerobic session or something like that. Or, so not and, but or 75 minutes of vigorous. That is going to be where you are getting out of breath. You're doing things that are challenging, more challenging for your body. So you couldn't sing, for example, through your workout if you're working vigorously. So it's about either, doing the moderate, doing the vigorous, or ideally getting a bit of both, right? So it sounds to me like you're smashing it with the holistic and the stronger workouts for your strength. That's great. Now with our stronger workouts, we use lower weights and high repetition, and there is an element of cardio in there as well. So you'll notice me say when you do the backtrack, your heart rate should be lifted, you should be out of breath. So that is a good example of really lifting the heart rate up, probably higher than you would be on a walk. So you are covering cardio with doing your stronger workouts. And you're covering the holistic side of things, so doing your core mobility, flexibility I know you do Pilates. Walking is great cardio. If it is the only cardio you do, I would be very tempted to make some of those walks rather brisk. Do a bit more of a power walk and get the heart rate up. Or when you're out on a walk, say if you're walking the dog, say if you're doing, I don't know, I'm making this up, 45-minute walk, you might want to do 10 minutes more moderate pace, 10 minutes, right? I'm going to pick up the pace now. And you could just do that a few times a week. It doesn't need to be much, doesn't need to be lots of times a week, but bear in mind the guidelines and then just work out, what you need to do around that. Of course you can do more, but do remember as well on that side that more isn't always better. It is to a point. So, if you go in just over that or whatever, it's to a point. It's different for everyone as well. I think there was some research that came out, I think it was for athletes, that said that the peak for most athletes where more isn't better is around about 450 minutes a week, which is a lot. And that's not going to be for everybody. You've got to find your limit. Anyway, that was a big tangent, wasn't it? But I hope that helps. I hope that answers the question. So yeah, walking is a fantastic form of cardio, but if it's your only form, just do some more brisk walks and get that heart rate up. Question for you, Lorna. I suppose it's more of a topic. Pulled muscle prevention and recovery. I've managed to avoid them for years, but 3 weeks ago I pulled my hamstring. It's taking ages to recover. Have you got any tips to speed it up? Injuries. Injuries are just horrible, aren't they? And I'm going to be that annoying person and say, the harder you rest, the faster you'll get better. It is true, to an extent anyway. Let's first talk about prevention, and then let's talk about what we can do to help get better faster. So for prevention, you want to be making sure that before you head into the main section of your workout, you are adequately warm. You've warmed the muscles, you prime the muscles, ready to go. So you are ready to hit your workout. That's what you want to do first. It's kind of like the basics, isn't it, really? Then think about your form, making sure that you're doing the moves properly with correct technique. You're being mindful and actually thinking about what you're doing with your body when you're doing the exercises. Not progressing too quickly. So gradual progression, otherwise we are just begging for an injury. Making sure that you're getting adequate rest, because what happens sometimes if we're burnt out or we're tired or we're fatigued, our form is just off point. It's not there. And that is when injuries are gonna occur as well. So making sure that you've had adequate rest, making sure that you are hydrated. Dehydration can trigger injuries as well. And making sure that you are practicing regularly some strength work as well as some mobility work. So strength work, for example, like we've just been talking about really, stronger, and then doing some yoga and Pilates as well. So we're not getting too tight. That is what you can do for prevention. When you have an injury already, it's really important to rest it. And I know that's the most annoying thing that anyone could say, but it is so true. The thing is, if you push it, you could make it worse. And you don't want to cause any permanent damage to anything. I'm not saying that you will. I'm just saying you don't want to make anything worse. There's other things you can do to reduce inflammation and things like that. So you've got ice. Compression can help with swelling. Elevation can also help with swelling. Your typical rice. You can also take some anti-inflammatories, like ibuprofen. And just make sure that when you're going back into exercise, that you are doing it gradually. You are giving your body adequate rest. You're having adequate protein for muscle repair. All the basic things. You're nourishing yourself, you're resting up, you're taking care of you. It's being kind to you. And also part of being kind to you is saying, do you know what, I've got an injury and actually it's okay for me to chill out for a little bit right now. It's that patience and that acceptance with your body. And I know it's very frustrating. I've been there myself, but you just have to do that. You just have to. So then you can get back on it faster. I hope that's helpful. And I really, really hope that you feel much better soon as well. Of course, you can always see a physio as well. If it is not getting any better, definitely go and see a physio. Morning. A random question. These were sent this morning, by the way. I know it's evening right now. Do you recommend a cold shower after a workout? I keep hearing about Wim Hof with his breathing exercise and a cold shower. It's supposed to help with mindfulness. Have you tried it? Would you recommend it? Do you know what? I don't like the cold. Yeah, I've tried turning the shower on, making it really cold for a second. It definitely makes you feel more alert, that's for sure. In terms of mindfulness, all I could think about was how I was going to turn the shower back up again, make it hot. It's not for everyone. It isn't for everyone. And I know it's popular at the moment, but the research it's still in its infancy. So nothing is like, yes, they say it can increase your white blood cell count. We don't know that yet. It may. The research is still in its infancy and they're still looking at all these things. But if you enjoy that kind of thing and you feel like it makes you more alert and it improves your mindfulness, or it is a way of you performing mindfulness. Can you say performing mindfulness? Yeah, I think so. Then great. If it works for you, then do it. Also, there's an element of building mental resilience as well, mental toughness, standing in a cold shower. And if you don't know Wim Hof exercises, you can just give it a little Google. It's basically like the hyperventilation and then the holding your breath and exposing yourself to a cold shower or a cold bath and practicing mindfulness as well. So there's no harm in it. But there's also no conclusive evidence scientifically yet. I mean, it's whatever you want, really. I will be having my hot steamy showers. But you'll have to let me know. Give it a go. See what you think. It definitely does make you more alert, I think. But I'm happy to have a coffee and be alert. Can you explain PNF stretching, please? Of course I can explain PNF stretching. Now, I've written this down because I can't pronounce the whole thing, so you have to bear with me. Proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Sounds very posh, doesn't it? Basically, PNF stretching. And this is what you do in PNF stretching. You can either do it on your own, or you can have somebody assist you. And the example that I'm going to use, because it's one we do in class, is a hamstring stretch. So I'd like you to just picture yourself lying on your back with your leg in the air, doing a hamstring stretch right now. We push the leg away from the body into the hand, creating that muscle contraction, and we hold it there. We hold that contraction. Then after a few seconds, we let it go and allow the muscle to relax. And the whole process is it helps you get into deeper stretches because you're working your stretch reflex, which is your body's way of saying, whoa, do not push yourself too far, girl. Or boy. It's your body's way of protecting itself, okay, from injury. And what you're doing is you're saying, no, this is okay. So you're working your stretch reflex and your body kind of realizes that it is okay. So one way that it works is by making that contraction at the start. It's opposing muscle groups. So your antagonist, that's it. So one muscle group is working really hard, the opposite one is relaxing, and then we relax the whole thing. Yeah, like I said, it helps you get into deeper stretches. Another way you could do it is if you have help from somebody, or you could use, say, like a strap or a tea towel if you haven't got a strap. But back to the hamstring stretch. Just imagine that someone is standing by your leg and you are pushing your leg into their body, and they're going to push against you as well. You hold that there, then you relax, you let it go, and you find that you can get into deeper stretches. It isn't for everyone though, and it isn't something that I would practice every day. It can be quite intense, and you just have to be a little bit careful with it because you don't want to take it too far at the same time as well. But it can be a good and effective way to improve your flexibility fast. I hope that was a good explanation. I tried to explain it clearly because you could get really complicated with that one, but essentially that's what it is. Now I'm just checking that I've answered all the questions. So yeah, we've spoken about that. This is a problem when you go off piste and you don't answer them in the same order. Yes, okay, that's all the questions. Well, I really, really hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you got a lot of value out of that. And don't forget, on Monday, we're starting the 6-week reboot. If you are a squatty and you're listening to this and you're doing the step challenge, I will be releasing that link on Sunday again so you can input your steps and hopefully, be a win for Team Lorna. Whoop. Not that we're competitive in this household or anything. And I will see you, team. I will see you on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend and take care, everybody. Bye.